We're joined now by retired FBI agent and attorney Bobby Chacon. Bobby, what do you make of what we learned from this press conference that apparently Hackman's pacemaker shows his last movement to be on February 17th, and that both he and his wife tested negative for carbon monoxide?
Well, Elizabeth, it looks like they're trying to rule out certain things, like obviously the carbon monoxide now can be ruled out. And so you start with a bunch of things that could happen. You start ruling things out and you start focusing on the things that are remaining. I would want to know what type of pacemaker you had. My grandmother, for instance, had a pacemaker that only kicked on when her heart rate went too low, and it just jumped in to restart her heart. So was this a pacemaker that kind of only went in when he was having a heart attack type of thing? So, you know, they're going to marry that data. So that's a crucial date now. Now we have February 17th is a crucial date. When they look at his cell phone records, has all of his cell phone activity stopped around that date? You know, does he normally text with friends, or does he search the internet things on his phone, and all of a sudden all of his cell phone data stops on February 17th? You know, you have to marry that now with the one crucial date we have now. But it's a huge piece of evidence now, that date. And now we can start working towards that date to see if there's any other activity post that date. They'll look at his planner, that monthly planner, to see if he missed any meetings after the 17th of February.
They also collected 2 green cell phones. And by the way, the bottles of medication that they collected, you know, they're over the counter. They're pretty mild. It's nothing like, no barbiturates, no opioids, nothing like that. So it seems to rule out any sort of an overdose, right?
Yeah, it really does. I mean, and it's unusual because you would think somebody at 95 years old took more medications than that. I mean, my mom has a pill box that she takes morning and night that have a lot of medications in it, and she's only 85. So I think you would think that a man 95 would have had more medications around the house, and if they would have taken all of them, not just focusing on these 3, but they may have been the ones that were scattered on the shelf or the countertop where his wife's body was found. That's what I'm thinking, because there had to have been more medications, even over-the-counter stuff, in that house.
Yeah, but still, if it was some sort of a heart event that Gene Hackman suffered and died from on February 17th, it still doesn't explain the death of his wife, who was 30 years younger, and the family German Shepherd, who was in a crate, apparently, and unable to get outside the home. The 2 other German Shepherds were alive and well, but they were running around outside.
That's right. And well, it's exceedingly rare to have 2 natural cause deaths in the same house at the same time, which is apparently what might have happened here. Or if he was falling and she was trying to help him from falling, or trying to help him to get up, and then had her own cardiac event, and then went to try to take her own pills, you know, that could be an explanation. But the pills that we find scattered don't apparently seem to be heart medication. So that could be, you know, if he's falling down and she tries to help him up, and then she has her own event because of the trauma of what's happening to her husband, you know, then that could happen. But you have to understand how exceedingly rare 2 natural cause deaths are in the same house around the same time.
And the family dog. And by the way, she's 30 years younger. I don't know that, you know, she would have a...
It's very odd. And the dog, if the dog tells me it was unexpected. They wouldn't have left the dog in there knowing, you know, they were going to die. So the dog probably was in there as a matter of course, and maybe they let them out for dinner or whatever, that particular dog. And so it tells me that this was kind of a surprise to them. The dog was probably a unfortunate consequence of them not being able to release that dog, and likely died of dehydration.
So if they have ruled out carbon monoxide, is there anything else? I mean, the gas company, the fire department has come and said there doesn't seem to be a gas leak either. Is there any other environmental cause that would kill 2 people and a dog like this?
Not that I'm aware of, and those are the 2 main ones. The gas leak, which, by the way, the fire department went in first because, you know, before the crime scene team could operate in there, they had to rule out that kind of thing.
Right.
So right away, they said no gas leak, no carbon monoxide. So I don't know of any other environmental contaminant that would have caused anything else would have been obvious. Any poisons, any things like that they would have contacted with, and like if they were both eating the same food that was contaminated, or something like that would have been more obvious. But any other kind of environmental contaminant would be obvious, other than the two that you mentioned.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.